Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is Ariba from Emaan Power, along with my friends here, back to our podcast. So, today we are going to be talking about a really hot topic that must be on a lot of your minds. You might have a lot of questions about it, and you're welcome today to make sure you share your comments, your questions, and listen with an open mind, right? Listen to with empathy for what we're going through and what others are going through, inshallah, and enjoy. So today our topic is LGBTQ and homosexuality, and how, as we as Muslims, what we believe about it, how do we deal with it, what are our struggles with it, inshallah. So stay tuned and make sure you share, subscribe, and tell your friends all about it. So, first question, I guess I'll bring to our room today is, what do we Muslims actually believe about it? Whether it's homosexuality or it is, people changing their genders and so on. Do we believe it's right? What do we actually believe in? So let's take homosexuality. I think we have the same answer for both. So, who would like to share their thoughts about it or their beliefs about it, rather?
So in Islam, we believe that it is forbidden to act upon it. So obviously we obviously respect everyone. We respect everyone except we do have certain how should I say this, we do have certain boundaries within our religion where we cannot believe or support what has been forbidden to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Every religion has some boundaries, right? Some core beliefs, and this is part of our belief. Well, first of all, everybody is a human being, right? And we Muslims absolutely value a human being at a very high level, and just the basic human dignity. Nobody should be denied that, right? A prophet was known as the mercy of Allah to mankind. So that's the core principles of our deen, to be merciful to people, to respect other human beings. And so, even in fact, even if you look at far worst case scenario, like Fir'aun, somebody who used to kill babies, even him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Musa alayhi salam to go and talk to him kindly, right? So this is not even, somebody like that to kill babies. So we're not comparing that, but just as an example, even in that situation. So, but this action is absolutely defined as haram in Islam. And that includes homosexuality. That includes changing who Allah created you as, whether you were created as a girl or whether you were created as a boy, or Allah, you cannot change Allah's creation like that, right? Another thing Ahmed said was about not acting upon it. So, a lot of us have desires which can be wrong at times, right? Sometimes, that could be even, somebody who's not homosexual, right? Could have, Islam has boundaries of certain relationship that can happen only within marriage, right? We don't go form girlfriends and boyfriends We don't, have relationships with opposite gender. There are boundaries for us in that as well, in which we operate. So, but that doesn't mean that, somebody couldn't have a crush on somebody else, right? That's something in someone's heart. But when what is haram is that they act upon it, isn't it? So I could have a feeling in my heart that I want to do something. Somebody might have like, oh, I really want to drink alcohol, or I really want to have, a Muslim girl could have something like, I want to have a relationship with that boy. But it only becomes really haram when you start acting on it. So that's what we believe is haram. It's not that these desires, it's not like, we don't think that it's impossible. You can't have it, like, or and perhaps, Allahu alam, how that we don't really understand, and you and I are not qualified to comment on that. Like, why do they have the desire or not have that? So we are not going to judge that. Allah is the judge of that. But as Muslims, we just don't believe this action is halal or correct within our belief system. So I hope that made sense. Let us know if you didn't. So let's go to the next question, which might be, a lot of kids have asked me this before, but I think we covered this a little bit already, that weren't there gay people in history? Do you think there were gay people in history?
I mean, yes, they were, because like we have in the Quran of Qawm Lut.
Yeah.
So, and even though they were destroyed in the end, they still came back. Shaitan always comes. He's still there. He still tells you why not, if you can have a relationship with a girl, why not have a relationship with a boy if you're a guy?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. So yes, they were gay people in history.
Yeah. So we absolutely believe that, yes, there were gay people in history. As I said, like, we are not saying that you can't have, this is impossible. Why do you have this thing in your heart? We are saying what we believe is that any thought that comes in my mind, or just any desire, no matter how deep that desire is, if that doesn't go by the laws of Allah, we believe we should not act on it, because we obey what Allah tells us to obey, or what He tells us not to obey, we don't obey, right? So this is something out of the boundaries of Islam. We don't believe it's right. So we don't obey, no matter how deep that desire is, no matter how many centuries it has existed for. We don't believe we should act on it, because our Rabb has told us, our God, our Creator has told us that you should not act upon it. And basically that, the story begins and ends there for us. Allah said not to. We don't do it. Okay. Do we hate transgender people or homosexual people?
No.
No, we don't. Obviously, we have to respect everyone, but obviously we don't hate them. We just do not like their actions, and obviously we can't also copy them, or like we like the action they have done is forbidden to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Ahmed said, it's not that we don't like the sin, not the person. So, but again,
we hate the sin, not the sinner.
Yeah, we hate the sin, not the sinner. So again, if somebody does a sin, that doesn't mean you're not gonna give them equal rights or anything. They're still a human being. But it's the sin you don't like. But even though you don't like the sin, you should still respect the person.
Yeah. And that's what the Sira tells us as well, right? That there were people who did horrible things, but Prophet Muhammad was still praying for them, making dua for them. And, if there was a fire, he could see them going towards, he's not going to push them. You can't imagine that, he was going to try to save them. So let me ask you this. If there's a transgender or homosexual student in your class, would you help them? Or would you be like, I don't want to talk to you at all?
Obviously, everyone has to help each other. I mean, obviously, like for example, let's say someone in my class was like, I don't know, for example, in a life dangerous situation, or like
not even life dangerous, like maybe they needed help with homework,
generally like they need
or their
help with
project,
their homework or something. Then obviously you can help them. So like there's not a boundary between helping. There's just.
I mean, I go almost through this every day at school. I have homosexual kids at school, and when, say for example, they need help with something in math or with a school project, I'm not gonna go, no, I'm not gonna help you because you're homosexual. No, I go to them, I say, what do you need help with? But again, there are some boundaries. Like when I mean boundaries, I'm not gonna like let them touch me, for example. I mean touch me is like touch like in a way of love, for example. So
also you can't like, obviously, so Islam has rules about gender interaction, right? So and that's so Khadija cannot let a boy come and touch her, right? But now if there is a girl who is a homosexual, then her interaction with her is going to be very confusing for Khadija. Like, what rules are going to apply here for me, right? Now can I take my hijab in front of her? Because like we women can take our hijab off in front, like if you go to women bathroom, you can take your hijab off, right? If there is no men coming. But now, can you? When you know that there will be, homosexual women there, can you? So that becomes very difficult for us in that way. Because obviously we will be more inclined to, and we're not making any rulings here, but you can imagine that now we have to apply the opposite gender kind of rules in this situation, and Allah alam, what is the fiqh of it? So Khadija, as she said, she would help. She does help them, and so they're the living example of that. I was gonna say something and I totally forgot. Like the next question I have in my mind. Okay, so let me ask you in a different way. If there is a homosexual or transgender child in your class, do you look down on them? Would you deny them? Like maybe you are in a leadership position in your class or somewhere. Do you deny them opportunities because you think they are inferior to other children?
Well, personally, no. I would give them the same equal rights as everyone in the group. So yeah, I'm like the team captain, and distributing roles to someone. I'm not gonna give the homosexual person the role that has like the least amount of work and like the worst role. I'm gonna give them equal. Everything has to be equal, because again, it's the sin. It's not the sinner we don't like. It's the sin we don't like, like we said earlier.
Obviously. So Allah told us we are all humans, and there's no difference between us except by good deeds and our actions. So obviously, all of us humans are the same. So or there's no boundary in how you treat them.
We can't. We are forbidden, just like we are forbidden to support this action. Or do this action. We are forbidden to be unjust, even as much as a mustard seed, right? So we have to be absolutely fair. Our fairness is not dependent on, how much you are like me. Fairness is dependent on what, depending on the action. What do I need to actually judge? What's the criteria there? Not on who you are, what color skin you are, what religion you are, what other things do you do or not. And it's not even a matter like me forgiving them, like, is their business here, right? I'm not like, I don't have to sit there and like, I will be judge that I forgive you or not. But that's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That's between them and God, right? And so now problem becomes when you're like, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, is when we feel like it's being imposed on us, right? And we'll go deeper on that. But apart from them, whatever doing is like their business, it's between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? I don't like us forgiving them like makes sense there. But what Ayat said about that, somebody might be doing like lots of other kind, like what if a girl has a boyfriend, or a boy has a girlfriend, or somebody is cheating on their spouse, or somebody drinks alcohol. All of these are major sins, right? All of these are major sins. But do we then like define the entire person by the mistake that they're like what we believe to be a mistake that they're making? No, that's like we all do mistakes, right? Some big, some people are making small. Yeah, go ahead, Ahmed. You were saying something.
Like obviously, like the worst sin is shirk, and like that doesn't mean we disrespect every single non-Muslim there is on
Very
the
good
world.
point.
Like
Yeah, very good point.
Like we don't disrespect Christians, atheists, nothing. We just
We have to be that's
just...
a very strong point. Yeah. So even like you look at Prophet Muhammad, his own uncle, right? Abu Talib didn't ever believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are other people that were around him. He didn't disrespect them or discriminate against them or lacked mercy against for them, right? So that's just I think one of the big things that is quite puzzling, right? It's one action that is part of your personality, that your sexual orientation, right? But we make it so that like that's who I am, like that's your entire personality. That sin doesn't become your entire personality, or like if from our perspective that's a sin, or even if if you just look at somebody, let's say, is not a Muslim, why does it have to be your entire personality that like that's who I am, right? Like if I eat burger, I don't go about saying that I'm a burger man. Hello, no. So that's not like my entire identity, right? That's like one thing you do.
I guess like one of the problems is like people define others by their sins, but then they forget like how much good stuff the other person's done.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we've probably done multiple sins, but I'm not gonna say that you are bad or anyone else here is bad.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to improve in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody is making mistakes, and we as Muslims, right, are making mistakes constantly every single day, right? And they might be smaller mistakes, sometimes they might be bigger mistakes, and we just struggling with our own sins. So, and not that we are trivializing how major Islam sees this thing to be, right? It's a major sin that we see it to be. It's like in Islam we believe sins have levels, right? So this is not a minor thing, but this is also not necessarily your entire personality, all of who you are. Like a great example, I think, is of a companion who used to drink alcohol, right? And he would get punished every time he would come back and drink alcohol. He would get punished, he will drink alcohol again. And he kept doing that. So one time the companion started cursing him, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you keep getting punished and you keep coming back. Like, what's wrong with you? And so they were saying all these things to him. Prophet Muhammad came and stopped him. Said, stop, don't curse him. Because he loves Allah and he loves the messenger. He loves me. He loves Prophet Muhammad. So this weakness he had, that he was an alcoholic, was one part of his personality. That was not entirely who he is, right? So, yeah. Are we homophobic? I hope it's clear by now.
Okay.
But let's what is homophobia? What does homophobia mean? That we are afraid of people who are homosexuals. Are we afraid?
So the thing is, no, we're not afraid. So again, homophobia is when we say something phobia, it's a very high level of fear that you want to stay you want to get rid of it. So for example, if I am homophobic, that means I'm scared of homosexuals so badly. I want them to die. I hate them. But again, like we said earlier, it's not the person who we hate, it's the sin. So I consider, no, we're not homophobic. We don't hate the person the way they are. We hate the sin that they're doing.
Yeah. So like obviously like the definition is dislike or prejudice against gay people. We don't hate, obviously, like Khalid said, we don't hate gay people. We just hate, like we dislike the action that they are doing. Like, and obviously we don't harass them for what they're doing. We just don't like the sin.
Yeah. Great. I think that's sufficient. We don't need to add anything. So absolutely no, we are not homophobic. We are not afraid of them. Yeah. Why don't you stand up? So why don't you, like, we stand up and support their cause? Like we see today Pride Month and Pride parades, and at school there might be campaigns happening. And why don't we all like stand up and support them and things like that?
So in our religion, we are forbidden to support what Allah has forbidden us. So, like for example, let's say, we are not allowed to drink alcohol. So obviously, we cannot go against that and say, "Oh yes, alcohol, everyone drink it." We can't do that. So.
And it would be so hypocritical to do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't drink alcohol because I think it's not good for me, but I'm gonna support you in drinking alcohol. Encourage you to do that. Like, that's so hypocritical, and obviously we are not going to support it. Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Khadija?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so again, we do not support that. We cannot support it. In religion, we're told we cannot support it. But yeah, basically. Basically.
Right. So yeah, I mean, in fact, in our deen, what we are taught is when there is something forbidden, it's not just forbidden because randomly Allah just made rules randomly. Right? We believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made rules for a reason. There is some wisdom, some logic that is behind it. That's not just just God just wanted to make some rules, so he made it. But that maybe we don't understand yet. Maybe we do understand yet. Does not matter, right? But there's always wisdom behind it that is of benefit to us, human beings.
And also, right? Like what Allah forbids it for us. Like recently, scientists have found out that almost all the sins that Allah forbidden to us have been scientifically proven why. So, for example, when Allah says don't drink alcohol, it's been proven scientifically why alcohol is bad for you.
Yeah. And I mean, large quantities alcohol is bad for you, and we all see the societal harms it can cause. We even see so many governments nowadays like campaigning in so many different countries, running ad campaigns to ask people to stop drinking or at least lessen their drinking and so on. So there are lots of things, like we may not understand like what's the benefit of it right now, but it doesn't mean that there isn't one. There's always benefit for us. The rules are for us, for our good. So when we believe that's why God has forbidden us, right? We can't go and support you in that, right? That would mean I don't care about you. That would be very selfish of me to do that for my friends or anybody. Right? When I believe that God's forbidden that because that's good for me, that's good for us, and then I go and support you for that, like that's such a contradictory thing. Were you trying to say something, Evan?
No.
That's okay. Okay. So yeah, so we maintain our honesty with that. We maintain our integrity, and like alcohol example, we've been talking a lot about, and that's something we've been taught that to the degree like this has been really clearly specified as well, that I don't drink alcohol means also I don't go and sell alcohol. I can't do that either. I cannot work in a shop which is an alcohol shop as a cashier even, right? I cannot support the selling of alcohol as well to other people. So we don't go near that action, in fact, and we don't support it at any stage. So the same goes here. So I don't believe that this is correct. So I am not going to go to parades. I am not going to wear any badges to support this cause because I don't believe it's right, not for me, and I don't believe it's right for you. But a lot of the time, like, there might be things happening at school and so on, where you have to just like stand up and support. I mean, do you guys want to talk about some of those struggles that you might be going through with this? What are some questions and things that bother you about this?
I guess like so like maybe like for example when people were wearing badges in my school. I mean, you didn't have to do it, but I guess like it kind of again like it feels like it's trying to like manipulate me into me wearing badges as well. It was kind of like so like obviously I didn't
pressure you.
I would never, but yeah, I guess it's a bit of it.
Yeah. So example, sorry, what happened at Ahmed's school, like everybody has to wear badges. He wasn't forced to wear it, right? It was optional. But you can understand that when everybody around you is doing it and you are maybe the only person or one of the only 2-3 people not doing it, can feel really odd, right? That everybody has to support it. And so we need to be conscious of these things as well. And I think it's especially worse when people start calling you homophobic and things like that for not doing it, isn't it? Anybody scared of that, being called homophobic at school?
I guess maybe it is also that because it's like a label, and then if the word spreads around, then everyone will title you as that. Like for example, how should I put it? Let's say, I'm not sure. So let's say, I didn't want to. For example, there was like a parade about a religion, like for example Christianity, and because I didn't go there, I would be called racist or this and that. But like in this situation, it shouldn't be the case because I don't like obviously I don't hate people that are gay or trans, but like I just don't like the action.
Yeah, and also there's the freedom of speech. They say freedom of speech, you're allowed to speak up for yourself. If someone, say for example, is against wearing the hijab and all that stuff, that's their freedom of speech. But when it comes to us like discussing about homosexuality and saying we don't support it, we're not going to go to like a parade or whatever, we're considered homophobic. Where is that freedom of speech that you're all talking about? Freedom of speech this, where is it? It's like so contradictory. Where is it?
Yeah, like, so if you are allowed to believe in what you believe in, we should be allowed to believe in what we believe in, right? And in fact, we have a surah about that where we are taught that to you what you believe and we to us what we believe. I think Ahmed wants to recite it. Go ahead, Ahmed.
So yeah, Allah said in the Quran, "Lakum dinukum waliyadin." That we have like "Lakum dinukum waliyadin" means that we have our religion and you have ours, and that means that like we respect both each other for what we believe in, and we don't like try and say, oh, that's wrong, or the vice versa. So yeah.
So we believe that it's not right, so we should not be forced. So I mean, you have to be conscious. Would appreciate if teachers and schools are more conscious that not putting Muslim kids in a position where they are, in danger of being bullied because they don't believe in something, that the rest of the class does. So I think maybe the schools and administration also needs to appreciate that, people have different beliefs, right? So if you are making an effort, which many schools are, to make sure that homosexual children are accepted, right? That they are not discriminated, which we absolutely do not believe in anyways, right? Then you also need to bear in mind in doing that you don't completely suppress, what maybe there is a one, child, a Muslim child, or maybe a Christian child in there. You don't suppress their beliefs, their right to freedom, right? We need to have a balance there, that we should not just be teaching, okay, this is right, you should all believe in that, right? Oh, we are teaching that, okay, respect each other's belief, basically agree or disagree without abusing each other. Anything else anybody wants to add about that? What's our struggle with it? Why is this such a hot topic with us?
Yeah, it could come in like job opportunities. For example, like there was this Muslim footballer from in PSG. Like obviously it was Pride Month, so all of the few top clubs were like putting LGBT on their shirts, and obviously he wouldn't be able to do that, so he did not go to the match because we can't support LGBT. So yeah.
And so he could not join the match because of it?
Yeah, because obviously you have to wear the shirt that is the kit that's defined.
Yeah, and I guess that's like people equate that, like that, okay, you don't support the transgender cause or LGBTQ causes, that means, like a racist or you're discriminating against them. Like, it's not like that. They're not equal things, right? We are not discriminating against the entire person like a racist would. Racists won't care like what kind of a person you are or not. They're like, oh, your color of skin, I'm gonna treat you badly.
Yeah.
Right? You are not my ethnicity, I'm gonna treat you, I'm gonna discriminate against you, and so on. We are not about that at all. Right? We are never going to discriminate against you. What we are saying is that we don't believe that this is an action that a Muslim should be doing or a person should be doing. That's our belief, right? So, respect our belief. That's all we are asking. So a lot of the time, Muslim kids, what would we say to the Muslim kids who might be feeling pressured and they kind of give in and they start participating in pride parades and standing up for gay rights and so on?
So obviously, if you have any doubts, first of all, you should go to your local masjid. Also, try and find out from trustable sources, trustable scholars, ulama, because obviously it is a difficult topic, but with the right knowledge and with the right help, with the right support, and obviously we cannot support, so we cannot go to parades or things like that. So that is forbidden. But also try and find a trustable source where you can talk, who you can talk to and find out more about what's the certain boundaries.
Yeah, and you have to stand up strong for what you believe in, right? You can't just go and just for the sake of fitting in, just give up and be like, okay, let me just fit in and let's agree with whatever everybody else is saying. Then what about your integrity? What about your character? What does that say about you and your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If you just for the sake of blending in.
Yeah, so hypocrisy is also another major sin in Islam, because and there's a couple of surahs that mention this quite a few times. So Obviously, you cannot turn back on it. So stay strong on your deen, and then you'll.
Yeah. And then you will see that it might be hard in the beginning, or like my whole class, maybe they do start calling you homophobic, right? Maybe something happens and the kid stands up and they start being called homophobic. And it's hard, but you got to remember that Allah is watching that, right? That's a hard thing you're going through right now as a kid. And these things are going to keep happening as you grow older. More issues will come up that you as a Muslim disagree with or don't believe in. Inshallah, this is preparing you to be a very strong human being later on in life.
Yeah, a lot of like the famous people, like for example, I don't know, famous footballers, they had to go through really tough times before to get where they are. So a lot of strong people come from like a lot, like the more problems you get, the more knowledge you have and wisdom you have to get through other problems.
Yeah. Imagine like you are growing a really strong muscle, right? To stand up firm. So many kids grow up and they can never stand up firm for what they believe in, even as adults. They just give in, trying to fit in. Yeah. So it's hard right now, but it's not impossible, right? And you do it for Allah, and Allah is on your side. So it might be you get into trouble. It might be you lose a few friends. Allah will, inshallah, enrich you with many more later on in life. So trust that. Like that's a trust. That's a test, isn't it? It's a hard test, but that's our test.
Yeah. Like just how, like for example, you have no clue who the airplane driver is. You just sit in the airplane and you trust that pilot. So you can trust Allah to take you through your life, and you can trust him with your problems. But obviously you have to put in the effort to go through them.
Yeah. And today, like, a couple of weeks ago, Khadija had shared that story of when she just like tried to just fit into what everybody else was doing and how horrible she felt after that, right? So today you might like just in order to like, okay, everybody's doing this, supporting this cause. So let me just do it for it, even though you actually don't believe in it, right? Then you will regret it yourself later on. I did something I didn't believe in, and I just gave in for the pleasure of people. That will never bring you happiness. Impossible.
Yeah, you always have to stay firm on your deen and stay strong with your deen. Again, like obviously, if you are like struggling out there, then obviously like try and pray more. Try and do something that can make you connect more with Allah and help you stay firm.
Yeah, and actually that brings us to a good point. Like, what if somebody else, like, there are sometimes, because this is spreading so much now, there could be kids who start getting confused about their own gender and things like that, which is also normal. Like if you are, people, whatever kind of person, people you're hanging out with, it's going to rub on you, right?
Yeah.
If I'm hanging out with footballers all the time, I'm going to start playing football. Eventually, right?
Yeah. So like to tackle that issue, if you are questioning that, like keep like obviously, like let's say you're like doing absolutely nothing, just sitting on the couch. That's when you just start thinking. So keep yourself busy, and then you won't have time to think. You won't have time to think about your problems or this or that. Keep yourself busy. Your mind will always be on that thing you have to finish. Or I want to.
And be careful what you keep yourself busy with, because that's a very good advice that Ahmed just gave, that don't leave your like mind empty and just like going in all kinds of. Be careful, be intentional about who I hang out with, what kind of activities I engage with. Like if I'll keep myself busy by playing games all day, like that's not helping your brain in any way. Like it's good to like fun for a little while, which I would recommend. Okay, play a game for a little while, but you don't want to make that an escape from your problems completely.
Yeah, then you will never solve problems when you're older. If you keep on relying on something, then
and that's what alcoholism is, isn't it? People they have problems, they want to run away from their problems. They don't want to face their problems, so they want to forget about them. So they go drink alcohol. Their problems get bigger. They drink more alcohol, more and more and more, trying to forget about their problems, their mind and so on. And they get addicted and their life is destroyed because of that. Their relationships, family, everything, the career. So be intentional about who you are spending time with, what you are watching on YouTube. If you are always watching stuff which is like, putting it in your conscious to support the cause, we should believe in this. And then obviously that is going to, make you not help you in being firm in your belief, is there? Yeah, that's going to cause confusion in your mind. So, and that's why we are doing this program, right? That's part of it, to giving you that help, because we realize there's not a lot of Muslims, unfortunately, talking about it yet. So we wanted to talk about it and share with you, like, what Islam believes about it. And also, there might be non-Muslims watching it as well. And you as Muslims, giving you, reminding you of what we believe about it. And we stand firm for what we believe in, right? No matter if the entire world tomorrow starts believing opposite. There are so many things that, we Muslims still believe in. And they used to be really wrong 100 years ago. Now that's normal, maybe like making girlfriends and boyfriends. I was really wrong 100 years ago, right? That would be very problematic in any society, anywhere in the world, even Western world. Today it's normal. But we Muslims still don't believe it's normal, right? We still don't think it's halal. So, we still stand firm against it. That's a sin that that is not halal. So, inshallah, this is just another thing, right? We don't need to get so overwhelmed by it as well. That, oh no, this is gonna take us over, something like that. Right. So yeah. Anything else? I think one last thing, one point we had that we forgot to make was about not supporting cause is the hijab thing, like we were talking about earlier. Would anybody like to elaborate on that? Like,
yeah, I guess like it can be anything. Like, for example, like obviously we don't force everyone to wear hijab or cover themselves up. So, I mean, like in our situation, I mean, you can't force us to support or be transgender or gay.
Like
So,
there is a term, Islamophobia, right? And I think Khadija explained it really well. That's about like,
yes, it's like so there's which I always think about this, because here they consider if you don't support LGBT, you're homophobic. So if I take this term and I use it for something else, for example, you don't support a woman wearing a hijab, for example, are you considered Islamophobic? That's what I always think all the time whenever I hear the term homophobic. So yeah,
right. So is it?
No, it's that's not Islamophobic. That's just you. That's your opinion. You for you, it's like, okay, I think it's wrong to wear the hijab. That's your opinion, but that's your freedom of speech, like I said earlier. But when I say I don't support homosexuality, I'm considered homophobic. Where is my freedom of opinion, my freedom of speech that everyone is talking about all the time? So
what's the difference? Islamophobia, homophobia. What's the core difference? I think you explained that earlier. Yeah.
So Islamophobia is the fact that you hate, again, like we said, phobia is so much fear that you hate whoever, like you want to get rid of it. So
yeah, like somebody pulling your hijab in the bus and things like that.
That's Islamophobic. But like we said, homophobic would be the same thing. We hate that homophobia, like we said earlier, would be we hate homosexuality so badly. We want to harm the members of that community.
That would be homophobic.
That would be homophobic.
Yeah, exactly. Very good example. Yeah. Like if a friend comes and tells you, well, Khadija, I don't support girls wearing hijab. Is that Islamophobic?
No, that's your opinion.
That's her opinion, right? And she's free to express it, right? She doesn't support, like maybe one day a Muslim girl goes to the class and like, I want to do a presentation about hijab. She takes a couple of hijab. It's fine. Those who are curious or want to support her might wear it or might, stand up for her if there is like some issue or something, like, okay, I'll stand up for you. That's up to them. That's their choice, isn't it? So, but if like, we are not saying like, okay, you have to support hijab and you all, like, if I bring a hijab to the classroom, you all have to wear hijab, right? You're not saying that, right? So that's what we have a problem with. Like, we should not be forced to stand up for something that we don't believe, or put in a position that we are left like the odd one out there. But even if you are like left being the odd one out, then alhamdulillah, that's an opportunity for you to grow strong. Actually, it reminds me of a hadith about strangers. Anybody remember that? Like Prophet Muhammad said that give glad tidings to strangers. Islam started as something strange and it will return to being strange. So give glad tidings to the strangers. So when Islam started, right, it was teaching people about treating women with respect, giving rights to women when they had no rights, right? In the entire world, they had no rights. And in fact, like if you look at US history, women were not, what kind of treated like equal rights as animals. They didn't have voting rights and so on. But Islam gave property rights and so much more to women. It taught people to respect, orphans, and so much more, equality, justice, poor people, and so much more Islam brought to the world. So that was strange at that time. Like, why do you want me to treat these women with respect? That was a weird thing at that time. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, so now that started as a strange thing at that time. And today, again, it might feel strange. Like, why do you have to wear a hijab? Why do you not just believe in like what everybody else is saying about LGBTQ? So we might be the odd ones out. And so that's why Prophet Muhammad said it will return to being the odd one outs. Yeah. And we don't go about telling people that, okay, everybody in my class, you all have to support me wearing hijab. Right? No, all we ask is you should not pull off my hijab or call me raghead and things like that, terrorist and this and that, right? Don't disrespect me. But we're not asking like you have to agree with my right to wear hijab, which I do absolutely have a right to do. Right? So the same goes for them, like, yeah. So it's hard, but all the Muslim kids out there watching us right now, keep strong, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. And inshallah, this is preparing you for something much greater. And, you're not alone in this. Right? Ayat and Ahmed and Khadija and have the same fears as you, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're struggling with the same things, being called homophobic or being the odd one outs in the class and so on. But we, alhamdulillah, we are all coping with it. We're doing what we can to support each other. That's why we're doing this program. While doing this, we were a little bit afraid. Like, okay, I don't know, this is a controversial topic. What will be the reaction of the people? So many people get banned and canceled because of this topic. But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guided us, and we recorded this for you. We took this step, and mashallah, I would say this is a very courageous step from all these kids, mashallah, especially. I don't think it's that courageous from me, but it's really courageous from them. So mashallah, make dua for them and support them. Share it with your family, friends, other children. Subscribe to us, and do the same wherever you are, right? See what you can do to support other Muslims. That's that's the best thing we can do right now. Is if you don't, if you're self-struggling with all these questions, see how you can actually stand up and support another Muslim kid, and you will feel stronger just because of that, right? I'm sure, like Khadija, I know, like you told me a couple of weeks ago when we were planning this, like, that, oh, this is the topic I want to talk about the most, right?
Yeah.
And that you had so many concerns and questions and things that you were struggling with this topic, isn't it?
Yes.
But doing these programs, did it actually help you to talk about it and
yes,
trying to help others with it?
Yes, I felt more like my opinion mattered, because like in Canada here, I don't talk about it much because of my fear of being called homophobic and all that stuff. But now, with this podcast right now that I just did, I feel stronger. If someone I feel stronger if someone calls me homophobic, I know how to put them back in place, how to show them what homophobic actually means and all that stuff.
Yeah. Great. Ahmed, would you like to say something? Do you feel stronger? How do you feel actually? You tell me.
I mean, obviously, like, I didn't know everything I know today. Like, obviously, I had to prepare for this. Like, I wasn't perfect from the start. I didn't know, oh, I know this and I know that. I'm not a scholar or anything.
Yeah,
but
none of us are.
None of them. So, yeah, I mean, we might be going through the same issues as you are. So, just keep strong in your faith.
Yeah. And going through this process, trying to help others, alhamdulillah, that we have done today, did it help you?
I mean, it's a good thing knowing that, like, every view or every, like, time someone watches this video or this podcast, like, you're going to get reward eventually. So,
inshallah. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, this topic is not just Muslims. There are other religions as well who absolutely believe in what we believe in. So if you are just, in your school, alone in your class every day, you check social media, you hear constantly one side of the story, you can start to get, start to feel like, oh, everybody is just like going that way and I'm all alone. But I hope you can see now that no, right? There are millions of people in the world just like you who have the same worries, questions, and inshallah, this is how we're coping. And so that's my point. Like, you can see that, Khadija, Ahmed, and Ayad went through a journey, right? Themselves from, feeling a bit confused, like, how should I actually talk about it? I hope I don't say anything wrong, like you might be going through at school, but now feeling so much stronger. So find people to help, find people to talk to about this, other kids. Don't be so scared. Other Muslims, maybe you can start with this, share it with them. Like, maybe this show can be a conversation starter between you and another Muslim friend. Share with us in the comments, right? Speak about it. And inshallah, that alone, having this community of Muslims, is inshallah going to make you feel stronger and firmer in your belief. So jazakallah khair. We hope you really enjoyed it, benefited from it. And anybody like feeling any kind of offense to it, forgive us for that. We were not perfect. We tried our best. This is our first time we're running a podcast, so in any of these sessions, not just today, so forgive us for any mistakes we make or anything that causes you to be confused about something or mislead you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on the right path, help us say the right things that we reach your heart in the right way. Ameen. Please say Ameen. And any trollers out there, please leave us alone. And hear it with an open mind, right? This is our opinions, right? And hear it with an open mind and empathize in mind. There are kids here, they're just expressing themselves, their opinion. So yeah, we hope we have empathy for you, and we want to have the same from you. That's all. Jazakallah khair. Would you guys like to say any last words?
Oh, thank you very much for watching. And please respect our opinions, because, like I said earlier, freedom of speech, it's our opinion. And thank you again. I know I've learned a lot about the freedom of speech because I know. So thank you very much. Please respect our opinions. And yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah. Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe and follow. wherever you're watching this, Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, hit the like button and share it, right? Make sure you comment, share, and wherever you're watching, right? Whatever the things are there, hit them off. Except unsubscribe. Support us in this and make dua for all the kids who are doing this, all our friends. So just may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us consistent and help us do even better and better, and share our suggestions for topics you have.